What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Hustlers Kung Fu Live, where we're going to discuss how to win the game of life and in business, the practicality of framework. Because I got some stuff that I want to get into with you guys because it's going to be good. We're going to be cooking with gas today. We're going to be cooking with gas like a mofo. So, one of the things, all right, getting set up here. That's interesting. Hopefully, everyone is doing well today. Okay, here we go. Here we go. The setup today is a little different. All right, so I'm wanting to let you guys know I'm going to do something different today. For people, well, before I get into all that, this episode of Hustlers Kung Fu was brought to you by Hustlers Kung Fu University, where you can find it at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. And we got some killer stuff to go. Because today I was building out the section of, because this is the latest course, the basis of making money from scratch, chasing the dream, honor, ethics, and principles, the foundation of a better human. What is honor? So we're going to be talking about a lot of this stuff today because as I was creating this course and I was putting this coursework in, many things came to me that I want to discuss. And also to give you guys better value, you can find a lot of stuff at hustlerskungfu.com, hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. But today, what I'm doing is for the person who watches the video, for you from beginning to end, and leaves the best comment based upon the video, the person who leaves the best comment based upon the video, not some other wild stuff, I'm going to give you a free 15-minute live consult. And everyone else that leaves consults, you're going to be able to get this course for 50% off. So that's what we're doing today. And we're going to be cooking with some gas. We're going to be cooking with some gas. So with that, aha. All right. So let me do a little housekeeping and get into the meat of the matter. Tell me what do y'all think of that thumbnail? Let me know what do you think of the thumbnail because I've been working on some whole lot of stuff that's going on. Lot of stuff that's going on. So the first thing we want to talk about in winning is putting together the framework. Because as I was working on putting this stuff together, a lot of things jumped out at me. One of the things that, jumped out of me is all right, so let's see. Let me get into these comments real quick. What's going on, people? Short change. People in that stimulus money. Alani, a couple hours ago, I was wondering how much you would charge for consulting. Well, it's only 15 minutes. It's not a full hour. Jason Clutchy, my wife's friend, was getting unemployment about 300 every 2 weeks. Now she's getting 700 a week. All right, so let's get into it. One of the things that you guys have got to understand, because, you know, I was doing the ethics and principles and honor situation. And as I was creating that part of the course, I came across many things back in my life where having ethics and principles and stuff, because, you know, there's a lot of pushback. And I'm going to just say, if you want to argue with me, you're pretty much saying you're an unethical person. Because here I am talking about doing the right thing, having honor, having principles and ethics. And I got people who want to push back. It's like, folks, you know, morals are outdated. Morals are never outdated. Morals are not, you know, it was just, you know, I was kind of surprised at, because here's the thing, I am a content creator. And if I was an unethical person, you shouldn't trust me. If, you know, and this is one of the things, like for the folks who've ever participated in an adulterous affair, typically the person who was cheated with, they always have this lingering doubt in their mind, will this person cheat on them? And that's one of the things that you've got to be really, really aware of in terms of having and building something. Because if you can't trust, you can't be trusted. And I was going through the, you know, I was putting the coursework together and I was looking at it. I was just saying, I've been doing this 10 years. I've got some of you in the audience today right now who've literally bought every product. And I want to thank you for that, because that's the level of trust that I have built. And to make money from scratch, you've got to be trustworthy. We're going to talk about, you got people who are making money online and they're completely unethical. And what these people do is they have these big gaps, because they'll be making money online and then it'll stop. Then they'll have to come up with a new scam. Then they'll be making money online again, then they'll stop and they'll have to be coming up with a new scam. And one of the things that I recognized by having principles and the framework of principles is I have been on this consistent upward track. And this is where the gains get good, because I want you to think, let's say you're making $30,000 a year, and then for the next 10 years, you added $20,000 to your income. So you're now making $230,000. Is that better than making 30, then going to 70, then not working for a year, then going to 80 and not working for 2 years? What's better? It's the consistency. And this is one of the things that I find to be a challenge for many people on the YouTubes, because one of the things I see, there's other, I don't even call them, they call themselves entrepreneurs and investors, but they're not really entrepreneurs. They're creating videos for YouTube. And one of the things I like to see is following someone around to get the free 99 knowledge about this business without really doing an in-depth expose of the business. I see this frequently. Like right now, there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube who are winning because this is what people are looking for, how to do Instacart. And one of the things about Instacart is that's not something you can scale. You know, it's to me a hustle. If you need money, you need bread, you got to do what you got to do. But it's not building a business where you can go out and hire people to duplicate yourselves and to scale up. And this is one of the things that's very different here than other channels, because we get into foundational principles of building businesses. And many folks, they don't even touch on that. Jay Edwards, you can go ahead and get the art of holding, because one of the things that I do is when I'm on a topic and I'm talking about how to win in life and business, I'm not talking about holding companies. And that's one of the things that's why I said the best comment on this video, because I get a lot of people who are trying to get information that they don't want to pay for, which is fine. You know, that's cool, but I'm not going for it. Well, a lot of people are putting themselves in harm's way for a few bucks. And here's one of the things, because this is what I've seen on YouTube due to a little research today, that many people are looking for a hustle and not a business, because a hustle is quick, quick, quick money. A hustle is something that you can do very quickly and something that you can create without a lot of effort, like Instacart, Postmates. I understand if you need bread and you don't have a lot of skill sets, you got to do what you got to do. And running around the Instacart and stuff, that's work. That's a lot of work. And I see that it is a big thing. It reminds me of Uber. When Uber came out, and I actually drove for Uber for 6 weeks so I could write a book on it. And at the conclusion of my experiment, and this is another thing you don't see with these channels, that they don't go in depth. Riding around with someone about their business for a day is not enough data to really come up with consistent conclusions. So I drove for Uber for 6 weeks, and I came up that Uber was a great hustle, and I figured out ways that you could expand it, because I was doing 200 to 350 per day doing Uber, but part of that was my proximity of living in a wealthy neighborhood. There was like literally one, two, three places I could go set up, and also I had to wake up at 4 a.m. because this is the whole thing. Like with a lot of these hustles, they tell you you could drive whenever you want, but there are certain peaks in times for opportunity. Because if I got up at 4, I would go get 2 to 3 airport runs, and that was literally $125 off 3 trips instantly. I just had to wake up at 4 o'clock. But once again, this is one of the things that many of these people don't really get into, and they don't talk about. Thomas Downer, any deal for the money management course? Uh, Maybe in another stream. Like today's deal is the how to make money from scratch. Yes, Chris F. People are always looking for fast money. Ryan Roy, a lot of people want to cut the ribbon, few want to dig the ditch. Building a business, there's a lot of ditch digging. I agree. Yeah, because there's many people. Like if you do your research, you'll see the American dollar is stronger than it's ever been. James Jones, ethics are old fashioned, just like integrity, something many people don't want to learn about. I don't really think it's old fashioned, because in my circle, a lot of people practice ethics, integrity. And, I was having this conversation because this is one of the things. And when you leave these comments in my video, I can tell what social class you come from based upon how you think. And many poor people or from the lower economic social classes have this thought that all rich people are evil, that rich people got their money by, getting over on somebody, keeping the little man down. And it's just simply not true. But they don't have greater experiences. They don't really know what's going on. Oh, Ryan Roy, that was like 2014. Sierra Holly, it's very same for DoorDash. It's good to do during peak hours, otherwise it's not worth it. The Dog Daddy channel. You shouldn't have to learn about ethics. This should be a normal part of everyday living. It's not rocket science. If you live without ethics, expect no mercy. Chanel, that is something that I think about. Glean Glendon Gideon Cleggo. Hustle is short term that generates short term money. Business is long term. Systems and processes that generate long term money. Stefan, I'm not really worried about inflation because the money that the Fed is printing is going to the equities market. It's not being distributed to the average citizen. Not most of it. The bulk of it is. So here's one of the things with ethics and principles, because as I was putting together the coursework, I came across a theme. Since I was in that boarding house, and once I emerged, year after year, my life consistently got better. I did not have these dip downs. I didn't, because I was self employed, I didn't have to worry about layoffs. And during the recession, 2009, I came online, and my goal was to create products and services to help people, and I succeeded. So let's go ahead and break this down. This is one of the things, like I'm going to probably do some day trading on Savage Finance and Forex trading, because right now I think that the environment is ripe for day trading because it's so volatile. But day trading and Forex is rent seeking, which means you can get a gang of money for not providing value. It's just getting your technical analysis up, getting your skill sets together. You're not providing a real service. You're not really doing anything except rent seeking. And you can make money rent seeking, but the thing is, let's look at the path of Forex and let's look at the path of day trading. We've got some people who leave comments in here. I want to thank you guys for leaving the comments, sharing your experiences. And they all, this is how I know they're telling the truth. They all say in the beginning they lost money. Every last one of them. It's like when I first started, I lost a gang of money. And that's going to be the price that you're going to pay to rent seek. You're going to lose money. You're going to be behind the curve. Oli Brooks, I feel that that's going to happen with Instacart and DoorDash because that's going to be the only people we're hiring. So one of the things I want to, give you is this. This is very interesting. When my life was a dumpster fire, when I entered that boarding house, I had wrecked my car. My marriage was over. In my personal life was a dumpster fire, and this bled over into my professional life. I started doing stupid stuff. I was stressed out all the time. I wasn't making really good decisions. And one of the things that happened is I lost my accreditation, so I couldn't work my job. And I went through about 18 months of that crazy stuff. But I noticed that once my personal life came in order, then my professional life, because this is one of the things, and this is why I speak of the lower economic strata, low impulse control, bad habits, just doing stuff because you feel like it, believing in superstitions. All of these things factor into your long term success. This is why the lower economic strata love sports stars. They love celebrities. They love rappers because it's like, hey, they got on that big money and they didn't have to change who they were. They still keeping it real. And if you look at the number of rappers who really make it big, we're talking about a handful of dudes and chicks. You may have someone who may have a profession that's rapping and they'll earn maybe 150K a year, but they're not really balling. And part of this is, as I learned, is how to win in business, in life, is you've got to have order in your personal life. It is very hard to get wealthy when your personal life is literally falling down. Darte, you got to pay those dues before you make profit. Ride for real estate. I'm going to find out. Christopher Lyles, I don't understand your question. Well, Jason, I mean, we're going to see because this is one of the reasons that I feel that many of these states are going to open up within 4 weeks because the economic carnage is so bad. I mean, you've got on this point that people are dying, and then you got folks are starving, and the economy is collapsing. And also, if you do your research, many people who are buying into the stock market are retail. That's people like you and me. All the big money, the institutional money, sitting on the sides watching this stuff, and they're laughing because they're like, "I'm not investing in that right now," because they know that once the true economic indicators come on into the balance sheets, the stock price is going to collapse. This is just retail buyers. Terrell, you looking forward to the upcoming depression? Crub Junkie, that's true, Glenn. That's why you never see a president without a wife. Yeah, America's not ready for a single man to be a president because having a wife represents stability. And stability is so important in terms of you being. Now, that's American sentiments because Boris, the UK prime minister, he got a girlfriend and she's pregnant right now while he's in the hospital healing up. Um, but it's about having the framework and ethics and morals present a big part of this. Really does. Hey, Jam, all of you cryptocurrency enthusiasts, y'all are 15 to 20 years ahead. Literally 1% of the world's population uses cryptocurrency. So that leaves the other 99% of us not using it. Until we get an adoption rate of 30 to 40%, crypto ain't really going nowhere. And I know all of y'all are getting in your gangs, you go to your cryptocurrency conferences, and you feel smart. You feel superior because I'm on this new thing. But most of the world ain't using it. Cryptocurrency, the dollar is not going to disappear in our lifetime. I know that many of the cryptocurrency enthusiasts don't want to hear that, don't believe that. It's fiat currency. But here's the thing about cryptocurrency, you have to transfer that cryptocurrency to fiat currency to use it to realize the value. That's real interesting because most of these systems are not set up to accept Bitcoin as payment. You have to transfer it into fiat currency to realize its value. JB, well, we've not had a single president since I've been alive. That's very rare. You got to go way back when. You got to go way back when. You got to go back to Thomas Jefferson. We've not had a single president. We've not had a single president since the 1800s. So that's kind of a mute point. Going forward, well, I don't see us having a single president. Sierra, yep, pretty much same thing with hire. Like you rarely will get a single battalion commander, but it goes back to stability. And also, here's something that if you don't understand the power of commitment, look up YouTube family channels. Look up the LeBrant family channel. Look up LL Cool J So Cool's channel. These are channels where they don't have any cussing and they put forth family values because LL Cool CJ So Cool, whatever his name is, I think they got like 5 kids. And this is a man committed to one woman. You know, it's very rare that you're going to get a single man who's going to make it into the upper echelons of society. It happens, but it's rare. Lil Flex, if you got a question, go ahead and ask it now. Stephen Arcus, I just realized everyone I heard you say can't get rich unless you screw someone will screw people and still aren't rich. That's why I asked that question. It's like, since you're unethical and you do whatever you need to do and you have no morals and compasses, how come you're not richer than me? And dude was just like, touche. Because having this is the genesis of making money from scratch. And also going through this period where you're unethical and you're one of these low base people, you're going to find it very hard to generate trust. And trust is very, very critical when you're networking. I know, Rod, for real estate, they want to argue with me. Royston, thanks for the $15 super chat. Appreciate you. Burrick, could you talk about creating value that most people never talk about, and that in itself makes the boatloads of money? When I created Making Money A to Z with Self Storage Unit Auctions, let me go here. I'm going to tell you something about creating value that's very, very slippery. That is kind of crazy. All right. How did I create value? I went ahead and I took expertise from at the time it was an esoteric business. Come on, there we go. It was an esoteric business. And I put it into the format of a book, and I gave people an inside view of the storage auction business. And once again, this is how you create value. When you can inform something, people of something they don't know. That's how you create value. Because, you know, Gary Vee and other people talk about you got to create value, you got to create value. What is value exactly? To me, value is learning something you didn't know. That's how you create value. And this whole book, I went ahead and put together, and I created a lot of value, and I made a lot of money. A lot of money. So, part of the things that is really hard for many people to understand, and hard for many people to get their arms around, is you got to do something. And this goes back to discipline. You got to do something. Once again, this goes back to the rent seeking. So many people are trying to make money without providing any value. It's like Forex, give me the money. Day trading, give me the money. And this is why there's only a handful of people who are really successful with those things. Because the system isn't set up on those things. This thumbnail cracks me up. And I'm going to give you my mindset when I created it. See, Usain Bolt is so fast, like that big gap, that's huge in track and field. When you beat someone by a gap like that, and this is how you can be once you start to employ principles. Because, in the course, I talk about how the transition is going to be hard when you go from an average person to a principal person. Because the average person going to my video, like, talking about what was easy to win, so many people just don't have the intellectual rigor to move ahead. And this is why there's so many people who are looking for, hey, Glendon, you got some for the average man? And I do. Stop being average. Level up your game. Stop being average. Stop hoping and wishing that good things are going to descend to where you are, because they're just not. They're just not. And this is a big, big issue for many people who are in the average mindset, who want to remain average yet have the best of life. And it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. Whoa, it jumped up. Chris, yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, there's a reason. That's because women hate on a successful man that says he wants to remain a bachelor. Boris wasn't voted in. Doing this, crypto reminds me of web stocks in the 90s. Yeah, some people made money and became rich, but a lot of people went bust. But tech wasn't fully utilized until the mid 2000s. Steve Jameson, what's funny to me is how many people who will do anything for the bag. When I was growing up, it was more about what you wouldn't do to get the bag. Pretty much. The point you made about your personal life and the factor reminds me of the story of a Jewish landlord with the diligent wife who thought you were trying to get over him. Yeah, she was real protective of dude. And you know what's funny? She was about 15 years younger than he was. I found that out when he died when I read his obituary. I did not know that. And she's also passed. Jonathan Phillips, go to a YouTube channel, and there's plenty of information on the internet about how to format books. Thomas Joner, how do you balance giving value and not giving the farm away? Thomas Downer, this is one of the issues that happens with this balance of giving enough value to get people interested in your products. For me, it's easy because I have so much experience that I can give some jewels away and still keep the good stuff, like, the art of holding. I've done several videos about holding LLC companies, but the good stuff you got to pay for. The real stuff, the putting it together, the system, the format, laying it out, that stuff you got to pay for. But you got to have a lot of experience. And this is why there is so much really good information online for free, because the people, that's all they have. That's all they have. And they have to literally give away their best stuff because they don't have anything else. And I remember when I was in the storage auction business, and one of the Clampets was trying to school this new good. She's like, you got to stop giving away your best stuff. Because, this dude, he would go ahead and get these units and he would sell his best stuff super cheap. And he was selling it to other resale people. And she pulled him aside and she's like, you got to stop doing that. You're literally giving away your best stuff and you're just going to have garbage and junk. It's pretty much. Teresa, I lost 1K playing Forex as a beginner, and I lost a lot of time and sleep because I was up all times of the night, and then I couldn't do the things I need to do during the day. That's something else too, because I've noticed that a lot of traders wake up really early, and this guy Ty, who has a Forex channel, he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning in the markets. So the professionals have a certain level of discipline. There's this girl. I'm going to show her to you because she is hilarious. She is hilarious. All right. Now she's blowing up because the one video she made last month, she's literally got 60,000 subscribers in a month. Part of this happened, like, she is really disciplined because you watch her videos. She gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I think she's in Canada. And this is one of the things that you consistently see with successful traders. They have a certain level of discipline. Um, he comes across as super smooth. It's like, your homeboy. Essentially, he's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he understands how YouTube works. It's all about attention. But these guys all have discipline when they're on their craft, when they're working, when they're doing what they need to do. And, like everyone that wants to argue with me about having, ethics, principles, honor, when you're arguing with me, you're exposing who you are. You're putting out a lot about yourself. You're saying that, hey, I don't care about honor and I'm not an honorable person. And that is not good. That isn't good. That's not really good to begin with. Yeah, Usain was beating him up. Teresa Diamond, I learned there was no shortcuts and I didn't need the distraction of forward riches. How's your trading going now, Teresa? I went to check on my Producer 401k with my job. I'm down 19%. Oh, it's going to go down more. Desiree, after everything goes back to normal, do you think auctions will be profitable again? Auctions will be profitable during the downturn because my business was open part of the recession of 2008, because it really started 2007. I noticed a big change in my customer base 2007. 2008, auctions are real profitable right now. Alpha trucker. And I really always have a you getting that stimulus money, Alpha trucker? Stefan, interesting. We've gone from serving each other to being self-serving. And that's one of the problems because the people who still serve a lot of people, they're going to get that. They're going to get the money. They're going to get their money. All right, D'Artes, he made 1,200 today. John Shaft. You know when it started for me, I'm going to say it started when I got online. Because the storage auction business, I made really good money, but I wasn't, quote, rich as I am now. I didn't have the ability to do the things I do now. I think, I don't ever think that I decided to get rich. I think getting rich became a byproduct of serving a lot of people. Because if you go to Nick Saban's coaching philosophy, if you're a linebacker, do your job as a linebacker. And then if you're a cornerback, do your job as a cornerback. And if everybody's doing their job to the best of their ability, there's no gaps in the defense. So what happened to me was it was a benefit. It was a side effect of just serving a lot of people. I didn't really sit down and say, hey, I wanted to, I think if I had did that, I think it would have happened quicker. But I've never really sat down and decided that, my whole goal was to never be poor again. And that was where it got me. The capitalist, yeah, it's going to get weird. Alpha trucker. The parenting sector, I think a lot of parents are finding out that being a parent is hard because they got to deal with their kids all day long. Terrell Braithwaite, I think storage auctions are going to boom because once everything resets and we go back to a semblance of normalcy, because this is the thing that's going to happen. We're not going to go back to normal just like that. It's going to be in stages. It's going to be layers. The governor of Texas slowed his roll because he was going to do like, I'm going to open up the economy this week, and he started dueling with Petty Trump, and Petty Trump pretty much told him it's the president's decision to do that. So we're gonna see we're gonna see how that goes because all of these GOP politicians are afraid of Trump because if they piss Trump off, Trump knows that his base will activate and get them out of office. So we will see. David Nino, it's actually more than that because she's very informative and she's funny. Now, I will say that when she did the Life in the Day Trader and it got 1.1 million views and it had an image of her on the pole, that was helpful. That was very, very helpful. Blow 101, absolutely. Pre-market start at 4 a.m. and after market goes to 8 p.m. Teresa, you made some good points, though. If you don't have savings, you put money into this, it's a no. Also, I was late to the game and I was gambling, hoping to get lucky. So, Teresa, are you still trading? Pretty much, Rod Smith. Apple Mac, yeah, I used to get up at 4 a.m. Teresa Diamond, you out? Okay. The Genesis Project. Yeah, I watch her also. Discipline and patience is the evidence of any real professional. Because everyone that I've seen that sounds like they got some sense. They're all honest, and they say they lost money in the beginning. And that's like, they lost small to get the skills. Because when you lose money, that gets your attention. You remember exactly what happened when you lose money. Yeah, restaurant equipment is going to be on sale. And I think that it's going to be hard to resell because restaurants are going to get hit hard because the average restaurant only has a cash on hand to go for a week or two. An exceptional restaurant has enough cash to go about a month and a half, and they're being stretched to these limits. Teresa, it's not worth it. I gave away a 1K trying to learn. I don't have time to learn Forex videos, trading the telegrams, etc. James Garrett, I have to say thanks to you for saving my life and my daughter's future. My mother passed away around Thanksgiving. Sorry to hear that. I am debt. I am, I guess, debt free and emergency fund fully funded, all before the outbreak started. Thank you. All right, James, good to go. Teresa, you need a lot of money and let it sit in order to for Forex. They have the ups and downs. Okay. Apple Mac, I was done trading by 10 a.m. and I went to sleep. This is what Humble Trader does. She gets up at 4 and down in the middle of the day, she takes a nap. David Neal. Short change, I'm not surprised people waiting for that government cheese. Well, I don't know about buying storage units online. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not surprised. My daughter's a trucker and she just went through in Arkansas. A store employer told her the state is not closed. There are a lot of states that are not closed. Crep Junkie, it feels good to have an emergency fund and technically homeschool my son for the last 3 weeks. That emergency fund is a lifesaver. It makes a big difference. Being the bartender, there's gonna Trump's already talking about sending out a second stimulus package. David Neal, swing trading is dangerous in this market. Burrow the Dash, I lost 10K before I learned to stop gambling in the crypto market. All right, Teresa. Gee, I started out trading commodities back in the day, made 100, 1,500 in my first trade and thought I knew what I was doing, then proceeded to log 20 bad trades in a row. That's what I hear happens, man. All right, Teresa. They do the opposite what all the masses do. Yeah, oh yeah, you can tell she's legit. All right, Instabull. Well, one of the things that, is so pivotal in this whole thing is it's the framework, because I look at my life, because I used to be a knucklehead. I used to do a lot of dumb stuff. I used to go to the pawn shop. Like, remember when you do the Columbia House CD Club and get all these CDs for free? Then I would like get that like 3 or 4 times, and I had like 400 CDs, and I would take my CDs to the pawn shop and get a loan. I did a title pawn loan. I went to Aaron's Rent to Own. It was oh God. Greg Murray is at it again. I don't know why this fool keeps emailing me. He just emailed me again about my channel Savage Finance. He has no clue. But anyway, the name is, did you pay it all at once? Because that's how that deal works. Block up project got 3 more credit clients, and I just partnered with an investor to finish a flip, a 30% market value. Relationships are key. A space for me. If you're going to start a business, look to serve people as ethically as you can. I don't know what's up with him. Pretty much Apple Mac. All right, Teresa. So, one of the things that I want you guys to understand is, as someone said, relationships are key, because for you to leverage up and to level up, you're going to have to get to know people. And if you're not a trustworthy person, because your reputation can be gold. And if you come across as a person who is always trying to do some stuff or be slick, that's going to come back to bite you in the butt. And, leveling up is all about the framework. And the framework is, because like I said, when I went through this situation of my life was a dumpster fire. I had all kinds of stuff that was really bad. And one of the things that I've learned is, like, let's go ahead and appease Greg Murray, since he's a little bitch who has nothing to do but pester me like a gnat. Like, he emailed me about my channel Savage Finance, which is only 7 weeks old. Greg, watch where it is a year from now, because this is one of the biggest problems that people have. They feel that they're going to come on YouTube or some other platform and instantly blow up. When I first started this channel, I did not make a dime for 6 months. I didn't make any money for 6 months. And anyone that tells you that you're going to go off and do something new and fancy and instantly blow up, and this is how I know Greg is full of shit, because everyone that I know that has real money, and I'm talking millions of dollars, it was a process. It wasn't an overnight event. And it's interesting how, because, Savage Finance is growing pretty much the way that I want it to, because there's some other stuff that I'm going to get ready to do to make the channel explode. But I had to build a basis. I had to show what the channel was about. Kimmy, it depends on how serious you are about your resale business. The CEO of Snapchat says it's about not working hard, it's about working the system. I think you have to work hard on that system, because Snapchat, I guarantee you, Snapchat did not get to, well, let's see. What is Snapchat? Snap is down 51%. Snapchat is giving up the ghost. The social network was worth 31 billion after its public debate in March 2017. Now it's worth less than 8 billion. It's lost 70% of its value. So I wouldn't really take advice from the CEO of Snapchat at the moment, because one of the things is like let's look at that. Let's unpack that. Let's look at the CEO of Snapchat. Um, One of the things that you have to understand and look at is the source that you're getting information from. And I don't get information from people who started like these tech firms, because they're operating in a different arena where, like, say Snapchat. Snapchat, I don't think has really made any money, and people are buying it. It's just like, it's kind of like Bitcoin and the Trump thing. It's like, we're going to believe in something even though it's flawed, and even though it has a lot of issues, we're still going to believe in it. And I would say, I would be careful of listening to one-liners where someone talks about all you got to do is this one thing, because building a business is a multitude of decisions and doing many different things correctly. It don't boil down to one or two things. And Snapchat just pretty much got lucky, in my opinion. And right now, the valuation is crashing. I have Snapchat, but I really don't even use it. You know, there's other uses for your time. I know, Ben, it's crazy. All right, Baruch. Dang, David. That's funny. I don't think they've monetized it yet. Well, I think they've kind of ironed out the thing with the oil prices, but here's the thing. Let's looking into the economic future. We're not going to come out of this thing as quick as people hope, because right now the stock market is priced that this is going to be a speedy recovery and everyone's going to go back to work and we're going to keep on trucking. It ain't going to happen. And right now, most of the people who are buying in the stock market are retail buyers. It's folks like you and me, and it's not institutional money. And Warren Buffett is selling stuff left and right. All of the big money is sitting on the sidelines. That should be a hint. But many people are listening to, well, it's cheap. Let's get into the stock market. It's going to rebound. And at some point, that's true. But I don't think it's going to be as quick as they think. And you better be in the market for about 2 to 3 decades after this to see your returns come back, because there are going to be some companies who are going out of business. And then your invested money is going to go to zero. So, going ahead and putting together your value systems and stuff, because, as I was putting that together for the course today, I really started to think about it, because one of the things that you're going to learn, because I'm going to put some more information into that this week, because, we've got 3 sections. Because what I'm doing with this course is giving you all of the, wow, that was cool. I'm giving you all of the foundational stuff that no one talks about, because this is what happens with many online courses. People will take an online course and they'll do the topical stuff and they will not dig into the foundational stuff. I'm giving you the foundational stuff first, and then we'll get into the money making principles and things, because this is the foundation of how I made money from scratch. It's about having honor, it's about having integrity, and it's about doing the right thing. Regardless of all the people who's like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta get that money. You gotta secure the bag. And let's take that whole statement apart. Securing the bag. What is that about? It's nothing about serving people. It's a very selfish statement. Just secure the bag at all costs. Secure the bag. And many people are going to find out during this recession that securing the bag ain't going to work, because people are going to be very, very frugal with their money going forward. They're going to be really, really careful with the things that they do. They're going to be very, very judicious with their money. They're going to be, and it's going to be very hard for you to scam someone out of their hard-earned money. You might as well go about it the right way and create value and systems to improve your financial position. But, we've got the craziest things that are going on in the world today, and they will continue. It will be the wildest thing. CNBC, they're afraid of an L recovery. And right now, there are people who are talking about we're going to have a fast recovery. So, this is all of the things I have. All right. So, for the people who are interested, to get the free consult, you got to watch the whole video, and your comment must be based upon something in the video. And what I'm going to do is wait a day or so, and I'm going to choose the best comment, and that person's going to get a free 15-minute consult. And everyone else that leaves a comment, I'm going to give you 50% off of the course. So we will see how that goes. All right. So that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you later.